Hello, everybody. Welcome to the One Nation of Gamers Overwatch Invitational NA qualifiers. It's our pleasure to cast for you today with the first step, the first leg of the tournament. It's a $3,000 tournament. It's the biggest one yet, biggest prize pool yet in Overwatch. And it is, like I said, an invitational. But we had a hard time choosing who the fourth place team in each region, North America and Europe, would be. So we decided, why not squeeze a little bit more content out of this, a little bit more action for you guys at home, and give you a best of five between the two teams that we thought were on the bubble for the fourth place. So today, we're going to be watching Life of Hanzo versus Prime, two teams that have been turning heads recently, both of which actually have beaten European powerhouse Flat Earth recently in tournaments, taking Life of Hanzo taking a map off Cloud9, of course, Prime taking maps off other great top teams. So both of these teams really up and coming, making a name for themselves recently, and that's why I'm super excited to be casting this to do for you today. And I'm of course joined by my co-host, my partner in crime. We've done it many times before. How you doing, Josh? Ask Joshy.
I'm doing great. I'm fresh and ready to cast these two excellent NA teams. You're absolutely right. These are two teams that have been up and coming, and it would just not feel right to deny one or the other into a four-team invitational, basically, for NA. So definitely glad to be able to present you guys this best of five between these two very evenly skilled teams. I think we should see some great games out of them today.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen them play against each other yet, but something tells me that they're going to be very tightly matched in this best of five. And I do know that Prime had one or two players from their team drop out, so the roster is slightly different this time than it has been in previous weeks. But they have stuck together and they have played in so many tournaments up until this point. They've entered basically, I feel like 2/3 of the Gosu Gamers tournaments, at least the NA ones, since the first phase of the beta. So they've stuck together for a long time. And Life of Hanzo is kind of new on the block. They're only about a month young at this point, but like I said, have been turning a lot of heads. And just to talk about the players a little bit, it's kind of a mix. The Life of Hanzo has a really nice, interesting mix of FPS veterans. We've got some guys from Quake, namely Dahang and ID. We've got some guys from TF2, namely Dummy and Mesrar. I don't know where Durs comes from. I do apologize. But then we've got AZK, who's the former Counter-Strike Global Offensive pro player. Then I don't actually know too much about the origins of the Prime, each individual member on Prime. I don't know, Josh, if you have any extra insight
Yeah.
there.
At least Spo. Spo was actually a World of Warcraft Arenas competitor for many years, and basically became a pro gamer through World of Warcraft Arenas. And we actually had him on as a guest on Town Hall Overwatch, and had a nice like hour and a half discussion with him. So Spo, definitely thanks to him. He's a guy that you guys should watch out for as a content creator as well. He was a contributor to One Hit Club. I don't know if he is anymore. Obviously, as some weird stuff happened there, but Spo and Blam have been playing together as the core of Prime for a long time. And then, as you said, the other members have kind of come and gone. It is a beta. You have to play with a lot of people to find that comfortable core of six people that you're going to play with week to week. And they're still working on it. Life of Hanzo, like you said, still relatively new. Durs, I don't know about his background. It's pretty much impossible to know everybody's background. So maybe he'll make a name for himself in Overwatch. I know that I've played against him in a bunch of matches in just regular matchmaking, and he's a very solid Pharah. Don't know too much about the rest of his characters, but I do know if I see him on Pharah, I usually have to prepare for a beating or switch to soldier in most cases.
All right, well, that's enough about the teams. I know everybody wants to jump into the games as quickly as possible. I do have to give one final little bit of information to you guys. Of course, this is the One Nation of Gamers Overwatch Invitational. Huge shout outs to ONOG for sponsoring this event. They're our title sponsor. They're the ones putting up the lion's share of this money. Also, shout outs to our partners, Geico Gaming, the Video Game Voters Network, and Infinicine. They've all helped us bring this prize pool up to $3,000, which is the biggest we've seen yet in Overwatch, and extremely excited to see how this tournament progresses. But enough talking. It's time to get into this. I'm going to let the players know we are ready, and hopefully we get this thing going in just a couple of seconds. We want no downtime for you guys, so we're going to be jumping into the games in just a second. Here we go. Starting off on King's Row, of course.
Now, I will also mention that you guys watching the stream today can actually contribute to that prize pool, make it even larger. I know that we've got at least one rather generous donation already from Sifel. So guys, watch out for that Match Arena link in the chat, and you can also contribute to the prize pool if you enjoy this excellent competitive Overwatch play.
So make sure to check those out. All the information is up. I did post the information on my Medium account, so you can just go follow me at Fishsticks if you want some more information on that. And the match arena will be posted by somebody, I'm sure. And here we are, Kings Row. Starting off first, it's going to be Life of Hanzo on defense and Prime attacking. These two teams have been turning heads. We'll see who comes out on top and who qualifies for the One Nation of Gamers Invitational. And Josh, this is the first tournament I've casted with the new patch, which had a pretty hugely significant nerf to Zenyatta, and it doesn't look like either team is running Zenyatta right here so far on Kings Row.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'll ask you for an invite back into that game if possible, as it did kick me to authenticating during the load screen.
All right, I will try and do that for you.
There was a tournament earlier today, the Ghost of Gamers EU Weekly. There was still a fair amount of Zenyatta, so it is possible we'll see them get pulled out at some point.
I'm not seeing you.
I'm clicking.
Well, we're getting started. I'm gonna try to get Joshy in here. Okay, now it's working. As quickly as I can. Sit tight, guys. Enjoy the action in the meantime.
Sniper, be careful.
And you're in game?
I'm not. I'm trying. Hang on. You go ahead and cast.
All right.
That worked.
All right. You might have to change your in-game broadcast button. But here we go. So Prime attacking first here on Kings Row. No major progress made just yet, as we only do have 40 seconds ticked down on the clock so far. ID, of course, taken to the air as he is a Quake player, so Pharah fits his playstyle very well. But Papa Smurf sticking with Winston. Winston's shield obviously very heavily nerfed right now. Not super strong, but still strong enough as 4 kills go straight the way of Prime. And this first objective might go their way quickly, but Dahang, who's now basically a Mercy main, has something to say about that. He's going to revive his team, bring them back into the action, but revives going on both sides, so this fight has extended quite long at this point. ID going to pop his ult. That Pharah ult coming down, he's going to pick up 2, but he's a sitting duck. You know, the Pharah ult, it's good, it does damage, but you have to come from a right angle. But Mesrar almost saves it for his team, but nonetheless, Prime still gets that first point in about a minute and a half, which is a pretty impressive time.
Yeah, and I will ask, are we keeping track of all the timers for each checkpoint as a drawbreaker, tiebreaker, basically? I think we'll probably need to, right? Yep. Okay, so minute and a half.
We'll look at the
about a minute 28.
The VOD, of course.
So that fight basically was a really good battle of attrition for both sides. It seems that the defense lost their Symmetra very quickly. Symmetra actually did have her ult available, but it could not make it back to the fight in time. So you saw as the checkpoint was taken, Symmetra ran back and placed that teleporter. Now they're going to have a little bit easier time here on this S-curve, being able to return to the fight quicker. They are allowing them to take quite a lot of distance here before trying to battle it out in this very narrow choke. And here you can see some ults going off. And it looks like the offense is up ahead of the payload, getting the majority of the kills there against Symmetra, Reinhardt, and McCree. There's a res, so the defense is right back at it, and suddenly the defense starts falling. The teleporter has been taken out by Blam.
All right, so Life of Hanzo holding on here, but the onslaught is real from Prime. The absolute aggression, you know, they've just pushed in unison multiple times now, using that Lucio speed boost. Of course, it's so powerful still. Like, both of Lucio's health boost and speed boost are so incredibly strong right now in the game, and they've been using that to great effect, timing their pushes together with that speed boost and getting right into the face of Life of Hanzo. That said, there is a moment of respite, some breathing room. It does look like Prime is going to do a heavy push around the left hand, or I guess if you're attacking from the right hand side, so this will allow them to be undetected for a bit here. Using the Winston shield to initiate, moving forward, and the Winston gets the initial kill right away on Dummy. Dummy not able to get any picks or headshots. There's a Zarya ult, but not able to really collect any kills off of it, so AZK and ID respond, and this should be another comfortable hold for Life of Hanzo.
Oh, reses go up on both sides. Mesrar actually did a great job there during the Graviton Surge to put his shield up and keep everybody alive. There's a barrage from id taking out at least Blam, the Reaper player there. And it looks like the rest of the offense is a little too scattered to really make anything happen here. Yeah, McCree and Disaster playing Mercy, both getting taken out there in that narrow choke. I really like this spot that defense is really holding up in, because there's really only two angles of attack. You've got the steps on the left side that Mesrar and AZK are up on now, and then you've got the spot where Dummy is looking down at id and Dummy both looking down at that other angle. So basically no one can sneak around them easily. It's only two entry points that they can keep track of, and here comes the offense.
Yeah, Life of Hanzo, though, they're bringing out the Hanzo. Hanzo's coming from behind, so there's the initial kill. Dummy flanking all the way from the back, and these Hanzo arrows are doing a whole lot of damage, and I think this is another shutdown a push for Prime here. Yeah, as they've been completely taken out here.
Yeah, it's just a
and
kill
one thing,
hallway.
Josh, I've noticed so far is, like, how many Mercy reses have we seen in this game already? Like, these guys are building their ults so ridiculously quickly.
Yeah, and Dehang has his available once again. This is something that was changed relatively recently. As soon as you started seeing Symmetra teleporters going up super fast, Mercy reses also have increased their charge rate. So they tuned back Symmetra. Teleporting was just a bit too strong, but they've kept Mercy where she is. I think they like the fact that she can res 1 or 2 people more frequently, rather than just needing it for that huge 5 versus 5, 6 versus 6 exchange that happens.
And defense has appropriately rotated around to address the issue, but now folks are coming from both sides for attack. But that ID ultimate doing so much damage. ID, of course, he's a Quake player, and those rockets, man, they feel exactly like Quake rockets do. So no surprise to see him sticking with Pharah, and I really got to say, like, I'm loving the new meta now that Zenyatta is a little bit nerfed. It kind of also means that Genji is a little bit less powerful. These flanking Tracers and Genjis were basically the end-all be-all of offensive characters in the previous couple tournaments. So I'm loving how much more Pharah we're seeing. Again, it also is kind of a side effect of this map in particular. Even when people were running double Zenyatta compositions, on this map they still kind of stuck to more standard compositions, and a lot of the time we did see Pharah, but I'm definitely liking seeing all the revives, all the Pharahs coming from multiple angles. And man, defense is straight up cleaning up.
Yeah, Mesrar seems to catch 3 people with every single Earth Shatter. It seems like when I Earth Shatter, I just hit a wall or a Zarya shield or like nothing. And he's nailing it every time. He did fall during that one, but it gave his team easily plenty of time to clean up those attackers. So B-Drop, Papa Smurf, Spo, Disaster, and Meb all have their ults available. Do expect to see a Graviton Surge as an initiation here, but we'll see how they follow it up.
Oh, this is going to be insane. It's being dropped on every side. Both Mercies still have their ultimates available, but Disaster goes down first. Dehang is still up, so no revive for the attacking team. And the fact that they had a revive on defense, I think, makes this push basically moot point. And there is, even past all the Mercy revives, we do have the Symmetra teleporter up on defense to boot.
So I'll point out that Blam swapped off of Reaper a while ago and has picked up McCree. He was the one to score some of those kills during the Graviton Surge, but Dehang, I have to give props to Dehang for that play. As the Graviton Surge started, he got view of Hanzo above and flew out of the Graviton Surge. That kept him alive while, as you stated, Disaster went down as the attacking Mercy, and it gave Dehang enough time to just stay out of sight long enough to pick up the people that did die in the Graviton Surge. So perfect Mercy play there, textbook stuff, but Dehang pulled it off just beautifully. And now the attackers are back. They've got 33 seconds, so this is probably the last push that they're gonna get.
Yeah, maybe. Oh my god! ID doesn't care. ID doesn't care that this is one of your last opportunities. It's like, okay, we're just gonna end this a little bit earlier. And the fact that Blam just went down and Meb just went down, they're not even gonna have time to get into this next fray. So it's gonna be on these 4 people, this squad of 4 right here, to make it happen. I don't think anyone else can do it. So they're gonna have to extend this. And they definitely want to. They haven't even gotten to the final point here on King's Row. Can they push this cart any further? Does not look like it.
Yeah.
Dummy with the triple. Whoa.
Oh, Dummy with a huge wolf dragon.
Kill.
Definitely does a ton of damage to those guys filing in single file on the street there. But now, yeah, it's all but over. There's the overtime ticking down, and great defense there from Life of Hanzo, utilizing Hanzo, and the Pharah barrages were just on point all game long.
Yeah, they really were. ID playing incredibly well. We also saw AZK pulling out a lot of kills. Dummy was always coming from a weird angle. And you know, his Hanzo is looking really good right now. Very impressive stuff.
There's that play that we talked about.
Yep.
Oh, actually, that was a different res. Jeez, he had so many reses.
There were very many reses. 30 eliminations, not too shabby for a map that didn't even go the full length. Pretty good stuff. And if this scoreboard shows you anything, it shows you kind of the dominance of Life of Hanzo in that first half. We did see Prime come out the gate swinging and get a pretty impressive capture on the first point. But after that, it kind of snowballed out of control. And despite a couple of really nicely coordinated engagements from Prime, it was really the killing power of Life of Hanzo that kept them in the game. So our sponsor, One Nation of Gamers, is giving away an Alienware gaming PC. All you have to do is go to win.onog.gg and you can find out how you could win there. So make sure to go ahead and do that. Again, folks, this is a big sponsorship in the early days of Overwatch. So if you want to show the sponsors that it was the right move, this is the right call, and you appreciate what they've done in the Overwatch space, that's the best way to do it. Just go to win.onog.gg, hit those buttons, press the things, follow the accounts, and you're one step further to helping competitive Overwatch grow.
Sweet. Looks like we got another donation to the Matcherino from Tundrick, $10. Bumping that prize pool right up.
Awesome. Yeah, big shout outs to our donators on Matcherino. Sifel coming in with $50 right off the bat. What a guy. Tundrick, of course, one of my 3 active paying subscribers on Twitch. Shout outs to Tundrick for the $10. And Joshy putting in 5. What a guy. All right, let's take a look at this defensive lineup. It's pretty damn similar to what we saw in offense as well for this team. Yeah, no Symmetra on defense, and this is one of the maps where we've seen Symmetra for longer than any other map. You know, people were playing Symmetra here back in the first phase of the beta when Symmetra really wasn't that hot. So I'm actually a little bit confused by this lineup. You know, Widowmaker always can do well on defense, but no Zenyatta, no Symmetra, and that's a rare sight.
Yeah, and offense is doing the Hanzo out the top trick, even though headshots, Scattershot cannot headshot anymore. You can still sometimes get picks just bouncing off the point itself into that cubby where Papa Smurf and you can see the McCree and Lucio are all back there as well, but it looks like not enough damage to do really anything. They're just going to fall back and swap on to their main characters. I see a Zarya, McCree, Lucio, Mercy, Pharah, and Reinhardt coming out the gate now. So what do you think about the Hanzo out of the top strat? Is it too well known now? Did they just cost themselves 15 seconds?
Honestly, it's not a big deal to attack and not like move out of your base right off the bat. The entire enemy team's hero composition becomes revealed to you after what, 30 to 45 seconds? So, you know, actually having that information is pretty nice. And
they actually
as I've been blabbing.
Yeah. That's
the thing about this game. You want to talk about meta at times, but then suddenly just action just goes so quickly. So the first point easily captured instantly by Life of Hanzo.
By tiebreak rules, wouldn't that just automatically give them the first map since it was so fast and the other team didn't capture the point? What should we do?
I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can't lose now.
Okay. Actually, we'll have to check with our admin, so we'll keep going as if this is live, and I think it is actually. I think we actually decided in the end that we're gonna go with you have to actually get further. The first time set doesn't really matter.
Okay, so now the players are curious as well. But we'll find out soon as we continue playing here. Papa Smurf charging in, getting a nice pin on AZK, and still staying alive, surrounded by 3 players. The defense slowly trickling back in now, not quick enough to help Reinhardt out, but there's a big res onto AZK, getting him back up, and offense is back at full power here, pushing right through.
All right, this is awkward. I'm having a weird bug, and I have to leave. So keep casting, Josh, and please re-invite me.
Yeah. So since we're in a party, I think you should be able to join game off of me on the friends list, but I'll invite you if needed. Right now, though, we've got just the defense basically is in full control of the payload. They're pushed all the way up the street. The payload itself is very close to the checkpoint, so if offense does get to rally and try again here, looks like they should be able to get the payload to the checkpoint quickly. However, they are getting bottlenecked right now at near point A. B dropped still on a Widowmaker, taking some free shots down at them, having to back off now as id on Farah. Shooting some rockets from behind the cover of Mezrar's shield. You don't always have to be airborne with Farah. That is something that helps you a lot in 1v1 combat when you can splash around your opponents. But if you're just pushing forward with your team, hiding behind a Reinhardt shield is a perfectly valid option. Each rocket does 120 damage directly, so the more you can shoot safely, the better. Id's barrage, Blam's barrage, actually on defense, looks like it does do a little bit of work, but offense is pushing right now. And there's a barrage from id on defense, taking out at least one member there. Disaster on Mercy getting taken out, but the offense is pushing now. Defense has been throttled, and they do reach the checkpoint. So it's for sure a GG now. And we'll get that admin clarification as we move into the next maps here. But first game will go the way of Life of Hanzo and a pretty swift offense there.
Yeah, and when we were coming up with the rules, we actually made a very strong point to connect with the competitive players and figure out what they wanted best. So I think what we ended up deciding on is that it doesn't matter. You have to actually get past the same, like, the time that you set on the objective doesn't matter. You actually have to get past it to take the win.
And in the case of the tie?
It would just count as a draw if we had a tie. I believe that's what we decided on. But Shade, please do let us know.
All right, game one goes the way of Life of Hanzo, the Quakers, TF2, and Counter-Strike mix.
Play of the game. Oh, let's break it.
It's the patented. If you guys are a little bit newer to the game, if you noticed there, you got to see, of course, McCree throwing his flashbang over the Reinhardt shield and getting the stun. We have recently seen that Reinhardts are getting wise to this, so you can actually tilt your shield up the split second you see the flashbang coming, but a little bit of pro insight for you guys if you are only watchers or a little bit newer to the game.
Really good stuff there from that McCree player, AZK. And it looks like we will have a map choice